Hello. This is me, Samantha. Today is Sunday, and I'm going to talk to you because I'm having a conversation with somebody, and this is a very good topic, and I'm going to bring it up. The difference between fees on a contract and the loan itself. Okay. Now, I'm going to say this because I've have so many people that contact me and everything, and when I talk to them and then we talk, the first thing I ask them about is their contract. And they tell me, I don't know. Well, what was on the contract? I don't know. That contract is really your could be your safeguard in preventing you from continue to pay them, or it can make it where you get off the hook or you on the hook if you don't know the contract. Okay. And you got to be careful what you read, because if a contract is so one-sided that it can be illegal and it can be thrown out. If you want to know about fees and stuff that's related to your contract, please go check out, go to look at as the law, the Truth in Lending Act. I'm not an attorney when I tell you this, but I'm going to give you the outline. Truth in Lending Act states that anytime you get a loan, whether it's a car loan, an auto loan, it's car loan, a bank loan, a furniture bill, whatever, they have to tell you, they got to break down that thing, including the down payment. They have to tell you how much you financing. What is this? Are you paying for taxes, title, a registration fee, all of it. It has to be broken down. If you get a warranty, they have to tell you how much is you're paying for the warranty and who the warranty is being going through. They just can't say you have a warranty and let that be that. Okay, so when they do that, then it tells you they add all of that up, and then they tell you how many payments you supposed to be and when the payments are starting. Now, I've had it where when I got late, they supposed to include that in there. And with credit acceptance, when I moved from one city to another, and I told them, they said, well, you got to pay a late fee. Okay, yeah, all right. I paid the late fee. And then they called me back and said, you know what? Why don't you start paying $100 more? No, that's not what my contract says, and I'm not going to pay it. Okay. So when you're doing that, when you looking at the contract, the fees and stuff they are not what credit acceptance is doing. That's what your state is doing. Your state is putting in the fees and all of that. So when I had a lady that says, well, it sounds like you complaining about the fees. No. The issue is the total amount of loan that you're borrowing. And again, I keep saying that what is ever reported on a lot of people's credit report is not the same as what credit acceptance is doing. They supposed to match hand in hand, and when they not. But I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people that call me and I ask them about certain things. What is on your contract? I don't know. Well, what was how much was did you have gap insurance? I don't know. Did you have a warranty on that? I don't know. See, without that contract, it's hard for you to have a defense on what credit acceptance did because you don't look at the contract. And a lot of us, a lot of people go out and they so happy to be approved for a car that they don't look at the fine print. They just sign their name off of that, or they take the dealer's name off of that on what he says. And then when he signed the contract and he take the money, he get his money paid off on that car. Then they finance that car. And then you say, well, I didn't agree to that. Well, yes, you did, because you signed for it. Or better yet, if they tell you, most big dealerships, which are prime ones like Nissan, Toyota, Honda, GMAC, when they do that, what they do is that even though you were pre-approved, they'll tell you, sign this document right here. Well, you be like, what is that? That means that if we can't finalize this deal, you got to, in so many days, you got to bring that car back. So you have to get everything that dealer is saying in writing. But see, most of y'all don't hold your contracts. You don't hold that contract. You may hold some of your payment history, but you don't. And when you have a dispute with them and you got that contract, even if you ask for it in discovery and when y'all legally fighting, you know you can do that, because that's how I found out about credit acceptance and a default. See, they so quick to arbitrate. They want to arbitrate. But then once they declare that loan a default, then they protect themselves. They say that once the loan is in default, they don't have to arbitrate. But see, they will go to court and tell you, well, I want to arbitrate. But I didn't arbitrate because I read the contract. And then make sure that I knew what I was reading with the contract, I asked them for a copy of the contract. And they send you that little blurred vision, that little blurred thing. No, you could use some of these Dollar Tree glasses right here. And they got magnifiers in it. And y'all went through that contract like a fine tooth comb. I said, okay, yeah. Well, this what it says right here. And then I filed it in court. And then I said, you know what it is. Like I said, you already got corrupt judges in the court system. So if you don't know what it is that you bargained for, how can you have a defense? That contract is your defense. Because credit acceptance don't commit to themselves with their own contract. And they know it. So when you sit here again, like I said, that contract that you just got or you've been having, and you can ask them for it. It doesn't matter. They have to keep it on file because that's part of their business. You know, ask for a copy of the contract. Even if the vehicle is repossessed, ask for a copy of the payment history and the contract. Don't just sit here and say, well, you know, I think this. No, because that don't help. And if they got over on you, what kind of defense do you have? You don't. You don't. So if you want to, you got to learn how to, organize things. You got to learn how, like I tell everybody, these are my best friends. They my best friend. I got tons of them everywhere and I write the year and when I'm finished, I write the year or whatever. And I write the dates on it and everything, because even when I'm talking to somebody, you have to gather information. If you're getting ready to sue them, you can't just say, I'm going to sue them because they did something wrong. You got to prove what they did. You got to prove what they did. And if you don't have the contract, the payment history, and stuff, you can go in there and argue about fees. But there's no, that's a state thing. That's a state thing. That's not a federal thing or a violation. That's a state thing. Unless you pay for the fees and stuff yourself. That's a state thing. So you got to make sure that you're on the up and up. And like I said, I know that credit acceptance trolls me. I know they do. And I know they got some folks that's, on here and they claiming to be citizens and victims. I've been through it all. I've had a guy that told me that credit acceptance was messing over him so bad, and he wrote on one of my pages, and I gave him an email, and he sent me this long thing, and it didn't even make no sense. And then when I said, okay, well, give me a number I can call you, or give me a number where we can contact each other, I never heard from him again. And I mean, you got to realize they are trolling, because this is information, the information that I'm giving to you, to each and one of my YouTube people. They know that if you apply it the right way, especially in New York, it'll work. If you apply it to what it is, it'll work. And if you keep filing so many cases and keep contacting the consumer, the credit bureaus and the consumer protection, that eventually somebody's going to take notice, and the government is going to build a case against them like they already doing now. But I don't know how long, or if the coronavirus did something to slow it down. But yeah, but they know this. They know this. And they know. So what do you do when you putting out all this information especially about your contracts, about payment history, about gap insurance, about warranties, how the warranties work, how it works with them, how many child companies that they got, and how they're committing a RICO. How do you do that? How do you stop somebody from telling others the truth? You try to cut the head. I'm the head. You try to cut the head. People could email me every day and ask me, how can I beat credit acceptance? How you beat them is that you keep the contract. That's how you beat them. You read the contract. Don't let a dealer just talk you into a car because you drove it and he promised he gonna fix this. And girl, those are just things that they just do things, to do it to sell your car. And I don't walk off with nothing. I don't care how nice I want it, how bad I need it, or whatever. If that product is not up to par, because I don't want to pay for no repairs. Because repairs on these cars now are not designed for the uncle that's a mechanic. It's requiring computers, certified. They fix these cars for them to go back to the dealer. That's the way they fixed it. So you're gonna have to be more up on your consumer knowledge. Right about now, they're giving away cars. So don't be desperate to just go with credit acceptance. Go get pre-approved somewhere. If you with a credit union or a bank, go get pre-approved. Capital One has something where a program where, after 5 months, they'll start telling you how much car you can get. Some of y'all trying to go out to $30,000 cars when you don't have a $15,000 budget. Know your limit. Know your limit. Know what you're dealing with. Know how you're going to pay for that car. What about insurance? Had a lady on there, another lady. I mean, she calmed me good. She calmed me good. Even though I knew, she told me she had a car, she got a wreck in it, and then told me that Uber had insurance on it. And I said, I ain't never heard no mess like that. Uber don't even insure you. They're not an insurance company. They're a limited liability company. They don't even insure. All the stuff you're doing is at your own risk. That's why if you look on your insurance, it asks you, are you using your car for a business? A lot of people say no. But they know today mostly everybody is either Ubering or Uber Eats or whatever. They know that people are using their cars now to make a living. But it's like I said, but when you don't have the contract, and that's the first thing I ask, and you can't tell me if you had gap insurance, warranty on the car, who was the warranty. I can understand if you don't know that part, but if you just don't know the ins and outs of the contract, then you threw your contract away, or you don't know where you can do it. If you don't know where it's at, call them and ask them. Call it, better yet, any dealer. Call them and call the lender that's financing your loan and ask them for a copy of the contract. Could they send it to you? Ask them for a payment history. They has to send it to you. So these are things that you can learn to be up on top of your game. And then read through the contract. If they send you something that's so small that you can't read, here, they got these right here. Dollar Tree. Mine's a little dirty, but Dollar Tree. Put them on and you can read magnifying. And then you highlight what you need to do. Keep your Bible. So you can write down stuff. When you talk to people, who you talk to, get their agent name. It's some things that we as consumers, we have to stop being gullible about. And that is, if somebody's selling you a rock and telling you it's a diamond, it's a rock. If they telling you that, okay, because you got to realize they're in the business to sell cars. And right about now, they're giving cars away because of this pandemic. And people think that this pandemic is going to just magically go away. No, it's going to get a little bit worse until we get a new leadership. That's why I talk about the rights, the purpose of voting, because one thing affects the whole thing, our court system. affects our economic. And if you right about now, they know that it's not going to get any better. It depends on who is in the office next year, how things are going to be. And you got people that are not buying houses, they're not buying cars, they're not getting in debt because they don't know what's getting ready to happen. And that's why everybody's panicking. That's why you probably getting a car now. Any other times, a dealership would have talked to you. If your credit was bad, would have talked to you like you weren't even human. Now they happy to see anybody on their lot. So you are at an advantage. Don't sit here and just get a car to get a car, and then you in trouble, and then you need somebody to get you out. No, learn how to look at your contract. Learn how to know when to say no and walk away. I know everybody need a car. I know you had a bad situation, but you got to be wise in this situation. You got to be wise because it takes one good mistake, and I guarantee you, if I had known what I had known back in the day, I probably would have went another way. But I got out of a divorce, and I assumed that, I'm guilty. I didn't check my credit, but I found out later my credit was good. I could have went to get a car, but I was so afraid because of that. Or I needed a car, and just so happened, I got my car at 10 o'clock that night, but I took it to a mechanic to make sure. So I hope this video helps you out. I'll be back on Tuesday. I hope you guys, learn as much as you can. I try to give you all the information that I can, not because I'm trying to make it seem like I'm gullible or whatever. No, I'm not. But if I can help somebody from some of the mistakes that I made, and I do legal stuff, but if I can help somebody that can give a decision that will alter what I went through, yes, I don't have a problem doing it. But it's some people I cannot help because of the simple reason you don't have a contract. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you did. And then you just know that they did something wrong. But the court look at it as 60-40. Yeah, they can say that you took advantage of it, but they're also going to say that you had a choice not to get that, or you should have read the contract. So I hope I help you guys out, and I thank you, and I will see you Tuesday when I finish my homework. Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you so much.